Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host, and I'm the chairwoman of the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We've got a great show for you. We've got some guest speakers or people that will be on sharing. And our topic today is marketing and branding, which is always an important topic. So I have Marianne Cherico joining us and also Amber Griffiths who'll be joining us. And I wanted to take a moment. Teresa Thomas was going to be on with us as well. She had a death in the family, so she will not be joining us. So I send you hugs, Teresa, from me to you. And I am sorry you missed the show, but you're obviously dealing with something much more important. And just know we're thinking about you. So I'm waiting for the guests to come on. I have some announcements. So as people come on and see me, can you let me know that you actually see me? Not just hear me. Last week, I did about 15 minutes of the show and people couldn't see me. And I figured that out on my own because nobody messaged me from the portal to tell me they couldn't see me. So I'm going to quickly just go onto my page here just to double check because I want to make sure that you guys can actually see what's happening. It should be showing live. There is a bit, I think like a 10-second delay usually. With live. So let's see here. Excuse me. So trying to get over this cough. All right, I am live. Yay, you can see me. Okay, good. Thanks, Kevin. So anyway, welcome everybody. And so as we get started, I'm going to go ahead and give some announcements and then we're going to get into our topic. First of all, of course, we have our two conferences we are promoting. So we have our Denver IHOSP Conference and Expo, which is coming September 25th, 26th, and 27th. The 28th and 29th will be the advanced stager training. And so you do have to qualify for that. Hi, Jill. Hi, Corey. And that is for 6-figure and above stagers. So that's the advanced stager training. That'll be the 28th and 29th following the conference. So we're really excited to be hosting this conference. Ticket prices go up on March 1st. Hopefully you saw our keynote speaker announcements. And I don't have the graphic in here to pull in. I'll see if I can get that. But we're really excited about our 3 keynote speakers that we are bringing to you. They are all very well qualified, very knowledgeable, just have a lot of really great information that they will be sharing. And excuse me, one of them is Jonathan Fowler or Johnny Fowler, who we heard from on our monthly call and for our association. And he is a wealth of knowledge. He has tons of experience with social media and marketing and so forth. And so he shared a lot of really great information, just these nuggets in 15 or 20 minutes he was with us. So he's one of our keynotes. Let me throw them up here. I did just upload this graphic. So here we go. So you see Johnny in the middle. So he's going to be our marketing keynote. On the right-hand side is Ravi, and that's Ravi Huthi Singh. And so he is going to be part of our designation that we're going to be giving this year at conference every year. Our conference is the only one that does this. You actually receive education credentials when you attend. And so we're really excited this year. It's going to be the Cultural Diversity Expert, IHOSP CDE. So it's alphabetical, easy to remember. And what that's all about is that we live in a world that is changing and people from different cultures are moving to our country and different countries. And we are engaging with them as stagers. We need to understand how to work with different people from different cultures and understand, their communication style, things we might see in a home, to understand what that might be so we don't offend them. And I know realtors are taught some of this. There's books out on it. But as stagers, we've really never discussed this. And certainly, I think it's an important topic to have at our conference. So Ravi will be the keynote speaker on that. And he does a whole lot with diversity and inclusivity. He worked at the White House. He's like an international known person. If you look at his bio that's on our site, he actually was in the band Hanson back in the day. And so he plays music, but he's a really wonderful person. And so we're really excited to have him there. Hey, Margie. Hey, June. We will also be joining him for this so far is Kevin Tain. Kevin will be speaking on Asian culture and feng shui and these different things that might come if you live in an area where there are people of that culture, to understand what they're looking for and what certain engagement means, if they're talking, if they're not talking, things you might see in their home. Deborah Plowden, who is our diversity ambassador for our association. She'll be sharing the panel as well. It'll be on the designation. And also I asked Deepti from Charlotte. She's East Indian. And so I'm looking for one more person. And so being able to have people share from a perspective of their culture and things that they know about their lives and so forth to be able to help us to do our roles better as stagers is important. So then that's Ravi on the right. And then on the left, Chris Widener. Super excited about Chris. He is a well-known best-selling author, motivational speaker, business coach, business mentor. He's written 20 books, bestsellers. He has a 21st one coming out. He worked with Zig Ziglar directly. He was on a TV show with him. He knows Zig's daughter. He was very close to Jim Rohn, who a lot of people know in the motivational speaking world. They have authored books together. He's worked with John Maxwell. And so Chris is a very well qualified. He's been ranked in the top 50 best motivational speakers in the world, which is huge. And so has credentials that, are very long, but a really, great guy. He just wants to help us succeed. And so he's going to talk about the art of influence and being a leader. So it's going to help us all with our businesses, because when you own a company, you are the CEO, you are the leader. And there's also some of us play leadership roles in other facets of the industry and in our lives. And so it's going to be a great session. His will be on Saturday afternoon, the 26th, and both Johnny and Ravi will be on Sunday. So again, looking forward to having all of them with us. So don't forget to get your tickets. You got to get them before the price goes up. They will go up March 1st. And remember, we have a one-third way for you to pay if that's an issue. So awesome. Hey, Melody. Hey, Summer. Mother, daughter. All right. And then the other conference, of course, we have coming up is Portugal. For those of you that are interested in going overseas, Portugal is May 23rd. So it's coming up. And so if you're planning on going, it would be great to know, because they are trying to plan for this event, for the revenue it takes to host it. And same thing with ours. Last year, excuse me, I got tickle on my nose. Last year, 50% of you waited until the month before the conference to get your tickets. And even though, we hoped and we knew that the ticket prices or the tickets would sell and we'd have the event that we were hoping for, it's pretty stressful when you're the one hosting it, because you're just like, where are the numbers? So don't procrastinate. Get your tickets now. Let us know that you're committed to coming so we can count on what we need to do, because the revenue from the ticket sales goes and supports the event. So if you're planning on going over to Portugal, you need to get your ticket plus the hotel itself. There's a special rate with the hotel, and that ends, I believe, this month in March. So all that information is on the ihospeurope.com site, ihospeurope.com. And what a beautiful location for the conference. And, people from all over Europe and from other parts of the world as well will be coming. And so it's a one-day conference on May 23rd. Then on the 24th, there'll be a consultation and communication course that's taught for those who want to learn how to do those. And that'll be taught by myself and some additional leaders from IHOSP. So very much looking forward to that event as well. All right. Today is Wednesday. So hashtag Stager Wednesday, hashtag Raise the Standard. So use those hashtags today when you are posting on social media. And let's get some good posts going on that. So celebrate hashtag Stager Wednesday and hashtag Raise the Standard. Okay, so what else do we have going on? All right, so we have coming up this week is leap year. So the 29th of February, so we get an extra day, which is pretty cool. That's Saturday. So Saturday, we all get this extra day this year. It comes once every 4 years. And so we are going to do a 24-hour Stageathon. So that website there, stageathon.com, will go live at midnight on the 29th. So, and we'll have 24 hours of continuous education. You can tune in anytime and watch and see what's going on with the education for 24 hours. So that's pretty cool. And I thought, what else can we do with that extra day? Well, what else you can do with that extra day is you can get some education, right? So if you're watching this and you're interested in the staging industry, and that's what the show's about, is to talk about the industry and the success people can have and, help people to be successful. Most staging courses are 24 hours. Oh, wow. The 29th, that gives us an extra 24 hours in our lives this year. So put that to good use. So the Stageathon will be happening, but you can also take a staging course. We have a recorded webinar. You could do a pull and all-nighter and take the whole thing all at once, or you could spread it out over several days. You could take a live course. It's 24 hours of education cumulatively. And so normally it's over 3 days. But do something productive. Reward yourself with having this extra 24 hours in our lives this year. What are you going to do? So I challenge you to do something that make a memory. If you want to start a business, make a commitment to do that. It takes 24 hours to get accredited. And then there's also continuing education offerings and so forth, because we never stop learning, which is really important. And then we have our Lead Your Market workshops. So these workshops came out of people asking for education. And I know Joanne at Wary would say the same thing. When she asks people, what do you need most as a stager? What do you need in order to be successful? And they say education. We need to learn. We want to learn about this. We want to learn about that. And so we put these workshops together after I did a survey and got responses back from people about what they wanted to learn about. These were the topics: pricing and profitability, business logistics and operations, team building and delegating, marketing, social media and apps, finances, planning and positioning. So these are the areas people wanted help with. So we put this workshop together, and now it's up to all of you who are watching, who said you wanted education. You got to sign up, because what we're doing is we're bringing experts together in various locations, and it costs money to be able to pull these things off, and we're doing this to help you. And I don't care where you are in your business. I don't know if you've been there 1 year or 15 years. We are always learning something to help us do better in our business. The marketing keeps changing. The different apps that have come out didn't exist when I got started, as far as things to make us more efficient. How we're found for our business now has dramatically changed, because the online presence is so important. Business logistics and operations, the bigger you get, the more information you need on that, as far as how to run yourself more efficiently. And so there's something for everybody, but you have to sign up, and it's only $275. It started at $395, and then I listened to what people gave as far as feedback. We lowered it down to $275, and there's even some discount offerings, some special promotions, I should say, various areas that help you save a little bit extra off of that. So look for those. But this is for an entire day of education plus lunch. And we have sponsors doing sponsoring, like in Boston, we're going to be teaching at the Sherwin-Williams location. They just came out with another, I think, 200 colors. And so they'll be sharing a little bit about that. So you're going to learn about updating the color palettes, what's coming. And so go register, because if we don't have the numbers, we're going to cancel locations. And I hate doing that, but I'm not going to tie people that I've asked to come and share, who are doing this on behalf of IHOSP and the staging industry as a whole. These people aren't even in the industry, some of them, but they're experts in their field. The financial people, for example, they have vehicles that can help us finance our, listen, none of us are getting any younger, so you have to have a retirement plan, right? But there's also ways that you can use financial vehicles they're going to talk about to be able to fund your business. So instead of having to go to a bank to get a loan, you can loan yourself the money, and there's no penalty. It's not an IRA. When you withdraw from an IRA, you get penalized, taxed 30%, and not an IRA, 401k or 401k. And so there's penalties with traditional investment vehicles. And this is all legal. It's all legit. It's people just don't know about it as much as they should. And so I could be my own bank and loan myself money. And then as this pot of money grows as an investment, you can actually then possibly help out other stagers. And how many people have said, you'd like to be in a position to be able to help other people who are entering the industry, as long as, it's a secure deal and so forth. But there's opportunities for us. And so I sat down with this group and learned a lot. And, I'm in my mid 50s, and, we're not set up for retirement. So we got to do something. And then when you're self-employed, you don't have a company who's doing a 401k plan for you, most likely. There's investments you can do on your own, but we're not set up like a traditional person who's working in a corporate job who may have a pension, or a teacher or something like that. So we're on our own. And so you better plan now, because time is like TikTok. It goes so fast. So that piece of it alone would be so valuable. You guys have to register. So get your tickets. Otherwise, we're going to be delaying or putting off some of these sessions. And again, these were for you. They're not a big money maker for the association or for the people. We have to pay for the venues in some locations and some travel and so forth to get the people to you. So I'm just putting this out there that we need to see registrations for those of you that you all shared. You wanted this information. So I'm challenging you to put your money where your mouth is and get your ticket, get registered sooner. Stop procrastinating. You can't wait until the day before an event to sign up, because people who are planning the event need to know how many people are coming to be able to set up the room, plan for food. The sponsors need to know how much materials they have to bring, all the speakers. So get registered. And right now we have Washington, D.C., we have Fort Lauderdale, we have Boston, we have Phoenix, we have Seattle, we have Houston. Those are all scheduled. Atlanta's coming. Denver, we have, that coming up for next week, but I'm probably going to have to postpone it. What's wrong with people in Denver? You all, struggle how to price your business and so forth. And here's an opportunity for you to learn from experts. And, I'm not going to put you all in a headlock and force you to come, but I'm not going to hold an event and have one person show up. So I just am emphasizing that for any event, whether it's this or a conference or something like that, don't wait till the last second to register. Because it makes it super hard on the people posting. So come and attend. It's going to be so beneficial for your business, and it really is. The whole thing is it's geared to help you succeed. That's the whole goal, and it's open to anybody in the industry. Any stager can attend, whether you're belong to an association or not, whether you had education to start off with or not. You're welcome to attend. We want to help you. That's the whole goal. So, and I say that sincerely, and that's why we put these together. All right. So thanks everybody for joining in. Hey, Joseph. I'm feeling a little bit better, a little bit of a cough still. Hey, Carol. Hey, Paula. Hey, Betty. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I think that is everything I have for announcements. I don't see Amber yet, but I do see Marianne. So Marianne, I'm going to bring you on. Marianne Cherico, here you go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. It's so nice to see you. Look so great. I love all the animal print. It's so funny because I don't know who put it on. Somebody posted a question like, if you know me, you know that I like blank. And it was a post like you had to fill in the blank. And so Joanne Leonard Wary's like animal print. So she loves wearing the animal print too, and it looks so nice. And I like it on other people. I don't know, when I put it on, I just feel like it's just not me, but I love it on other people. I have shoes that are really cool that are the leopard print. I don't know, but I love it. I can wear zebra, but anyhow, but I love the animal print. So that reminded me.
Somebody asked me what my branding color would be, just kind of in a branding workshop, and I thought leopard.
Yeah.
I love leopard.
So do you have leopard print?
Makes fun of me all the time.
Do you have furniture that has animal print on it, leopard print?
Oh yeah, pillows.
That's great.
I love leopard.
I do too. So it looks great on you too with all your coloring. So for people who don't know who you are, let's give an introduction. Tell people who you are.
Okay, I'm Marianne Cherico. I'm the Home Stagers coach, and my background is 27 years in real estate sales and marketing. I've owned a staging company in Massachusetts since 2005. And I have a podcast called Home Stagers and Designers on Fire. And I speak at different venues about how to build your business. And I love coaching my clients.
She's a wonderful person, just a kind-hearted, wonderful person. And you care about people, and that comes across very sincerely.
Oh my gosh, I do. I really, truly care about people. I care about my clients beyond. I'm a mush, but I'm tough too when I have to be. But thank you for having me here. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so, and hey, Sandy, and Marianne is going to be part of our workshop in Boston, which is on April 9th. And we're holding it at the Sherwin-Williams place. Is it Canton? I don't know if that's the right city.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I have to Google it, but Canton is pretty close to me. I'm in Foxborough. So wherever it is, I'll be there. Yeah,
I'm supposed to be there teaching the masters in Plymouth. So that's a Thursday, the 9th. And so those of you that are in Boston, register, because we have Marianne speaking. Amber Griffiths will be on. She's going to be there as well. and Blair Hamity will be sharing, and Blair's got a huge business. I'll be speaking. So, and then we'll have the financial people. So we've got a really great group that'll be sharing at that workshops. And now we just need you people in Boston and Rhode Island and surrounding states
New
to register.
Hampshire,
New
Connecticut,
Hampshire,
yeah.
Connecticut. Yeah. So get registered. So we have a great turnout. We're going to have fun. So marketing and branding, that's our topic for today. What's the big deal about marketing and branding? Why do people have to even, I mean, what is a brand anyway? When people hear that word, like, what's your brand? When, what does that even mean?
Well, it's funny because, I have become a marketing and branding geek. And I think the whole branding thing is often misunderstood. It's really about understanding deeply who your ideal clients are and serving them up what they want and doing it in a way so that they see as that you are their single best choice to solve their problems in a way that they want them to be solved. People work with people that they know, like, and trust. And I know we hear that all the time, but what does that mean? It really means being able to convey to your ideal clients in a way, in your copy, in your videos, in your blog, in everything you do with your marketing, so that they feel as though you hear them and their specific pain points. So there's a lot to it. I mean, you have to understand what their lingo is. What are their hot points? What are their aspirations? And how do you uniquely serve them up what they want? And I truly believe that as the internet gets noisier and noisier, that it's even more important to convey who you are as a person and not to be anything but who you are. Being authentic is so important. And in doing that, you may repel some people because they may think you're too this or you're too that. For some people, maybe I'm too much. For some people, maybe I'm not enough. Whatever that might be, and not to second guess who you bring to the table, and actually identifying those characteristics that your ideal clients love about you and bringing more of that forth in your copy and your marketing, and not being afraid to being unique, because honestly, I think as the internet gets noisier and noisier, being more of who you are will make you stand out. And just as
It's
an
very true.
example, when I hired my coach about 5 years ago, I invested a lot of money in coaching, and I picked my coach after doing tons of homework. And I knew that I needed better business strategies and better marketing strategies. So that was something that was just kind of a given. So I studied a lot of different coaches that brought that. But the reason why I hired her was a reason that had nothing to do with that. She had that. That was a given. It had to be that. What I loved about her was that she was quirky. She jumped from planes. She was fearless. She believed in law of attraction. She had this engaging personality. And I loved her quirkiness. She was kind of a California Valley girl. And I don't know what it was. It was that thing about her that it just said, I have to work with her. My gut said she's the right one for me. And thinking about it later, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was really burnt out at the time, emotionally, physically, mentally depleted. And she talked a lot about joy and how important that was. And there was a joy about her. And so that's part of the reason why I hired her. So we assume we know why people hire us. We think that it's because we're going to, have all of these business skills and these marketing skills. Well, that's a given. We should have all that anyways. But it's that extra special sauce that sets us apart. And I think that it's really important. And it doesn't have to be somebody who's really bold. I know a coach that's doing incredibly well, and she calls herself the Happy Hermit, and her people are mostly introverts, and she's
Right.
amazing. I mean, I've worked with her. She is so amazing, and she's not big and loud and bold like other people. So I think being more of who you are, and as solopreneurs, as entrepreneurs, people really, they're choosing to work with us as stagers.
I love this
So
stagerpreneurs.
yeah.
Stagerpreneurs.
Oh, I love that. So,
Um, Renee Helton was on last week, and she'll be at our conference sharing on. We're going to do the disc profile, have everybody take that, and DISC, and it's a personality or temperament assessment. And then she's going to talk about the characteristics that, how do you identify who you are, but more importantly, working with your target client. How do you adapt to make sure that they are receiving the information in a way that they need to receive it, but then also adding people to your company, to your team. And one of the things I've heard her share on this twice, the temperaments that are the more extroverted, the louder people, the expressives, the ones that get all the attention, they're actually in the minority in the population. So there's actually many more people who would be more of the soft-spoken, the analytical, the introverts. The 60% or something can identify with that versus the others. And so we don't think that, because the people that are loud and expressive and put themselves out there, those are usually what we see, because they don't have a problem putting themselves out on social media, doing videos and stuff. And oftentimes they are the ones leading companies or leading the charge. And so you think, oh, well, in order to be successful, I have to be like that person. And that's not true. And I think understanding that what you said, you're going to get hired because people know, like, and trust you, because it's relationship. And so I think that's super important. Our marketing brand, I think this last year I rewrote part of my website to be in the I, and as if I was talking to my audience, because in the past it was as if somebody had interviewed me and like a third party. Jenny Norris is this, she's done that. And so instead I changed it to personalize it. And I don't know, I can't remember if it was from our conference, somebody shared on that. It could have been you even talking about putting it in the I tense, and like you're having a personal conversation with your audience. And so that shifted everything for my marketing.
It's so true. I mean, often people think that all we have to do is list our huge list of credentials, and people care about that to a point, but it's really more than that. Your credentials are great. They're important. They give you street cred, but people want to know about what it's going to be like to work with you. So on your LinkedIn profile, on your website, on your about page, it should be as if you're speaking directly to your ideal clients, so that they understand that you're getting them. And when you remove yourself from the equation and put yourself in the second, third party, whatever it is, I always get that confused. You're putting like a wall between you. And instead, talk to them. Marketing is all about getting people to meet with you one-on-one, or to engage further. It's not an end result. Like, we think that marketing is just to get the business. Oftentimes we need to deepen the relationship by taking it offline, meet with that agent one-on-one, or potential client. It's really about them getting to know you. So you really want to be more of yourself, and talk to them like they're human beings. That's what they are. And the more you do that, and you understand what they want, and deliver it up through your blog and your website and your live videos, the more they're going to engage with you and want to take it to the next step.
Yeah, and I met with two agents yesterday who are part of kind of a boutique company here in Colorado, and both of them are 2 years or less in the industry. And so, they wanted to learn about staging and how it could help with their business and so forth. But we talked about, education, different classes they needed to take. I was with them for, we started at 1:30, and at 3:00, it went by like that. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's 3:00. We have to get going. You're like, she said, it's like drinking out of a fire hose, sitting and listening to you. And we're asking, like, what do you need for your business? But just educating them about staging, but even other education as a realtor that they need to think about. And she has a client that says, I don't believe in staging. And she goes, how do I overcome that? And I said, well, I love a challenge. And I said, I'd be interested to know why they feel that way. They unsuccessfully tried to sell their house previously. They rented it out. And so I said, there's statistics, there's things that we can help you. And so my goal is to be a resource for them to help them advance their business, whether that's sharing places to go online, education they need to take, different. I said, you should, if their company's called Lux Real Estate. So I said, if you're focused on like the luxury market, I said, you need to get your luxury designation, and that's the CLHMS. Plus, I said, we have a luxury designation you can earn. And I said, so you want to brand yourself, that's your goal, then these are the things you need to do. And they hadn't heard of these designations. They hadn't even heard of Inman. And I talked about Inman as a great resource for articles and real estate and so forth. So, we as stagers, go beyond just the staging information, share other things that can just help them in their business and or even in their life. I mean, I found, don't be afraid to ask about their families and see if there's a connection there, because I have to like who I work with too. So it's not just about them interviewing me. It goes both ways, because we're going to be investing a lot of time with these people to help them. And that's our goal. It's not just money in my bank. It's like, this is a relationship that we are cultivating. And so I have to like the people as well. And what you said earlier, that not everybody's going to like you or me, it's true. I don't expect that. I'm not going to water myself down to be like a blob of oatmeal so that I try to appeal to everybody, because then I'm who I am, is the essence is gone. So,
I totally agree. And to your point, back to, serving first, that we have to give first. Now, that does not mean that we should get paid what we're worth. That's a whole other thing, but serving up agents what they want. And I created a presentation for my coaching clients that is literally for real estate agents when they meet with real estate agents. And it's not really about staging. It's about how they can help the real estate agent build their business. It's benefit, benefit, benefit. We have to remember, real estate agents don't care about staging unless it's going to benefit them, right? Like anybody, you want to know what's in it for me, right? If I hire a stager, now I got to take the listing off the market longer. I'm going to get paid slower, right? Or so they think.
Right.
And I may insult my clients. They're thinking all this stuff. It's our job to show them the benefits to them and the benefits to their clients. And it's not enough to say, we stage homes faster and for more money, because that's kind of become a mantra that we don't really listen to. What does that mean? So right. I literally provide the agents in this presentation with their own stats, the NAR stats, National Association of Realtors. And I take those stats, and I did this at the presentation at IHOS. I take those stats and I say, based on your own stats from your own association, this is how you can make more money when you use staging as a tool. And then I teach them how they can use my consult as a tipping point to get the listing. So the benefits to realtors are huge. And I think that often home stagers think that they're indebted to the realtors and they feel somehow less than, and that's a mindset thing. We have so much to offer to help them build their business, create word of mouth marketing, create raving fans, get those listings, because people look online before they list their home to see what their house is going to be worth. And they'll notice that certain agents' listings look better and they're going to want some of that. So it's really incumbent on us to educate the realtors on how it benefits them to work with
right.
a home stager.
When John got into real estate, this was like 2005, and I was in a market, Sacramento, where staging wasn't being done. In 2002, I entered the industry there and really laid the foundation for staging, because it just was not being done at all. So 3 years in, I was staging. I had a company and so forth. And when he got in the industry, I thought, well, why would a realtor want to work with a stager? What difference does it make? And so I took how much can you make or earn when you stage your listings? And I broke it down. It's kind of similar to what you have done. If you have 2 to 4 listings a month right now, if all you do is add staging, what impact will that make? And so let's say that the house, instead of selling for, $400,000, it sells for $450 or $430. Let's just do $30,000 extra. Oh, that's great. So the seller's super happy because they're getting $30,000 extra. I mean, woohoo! Even if it's like 10, let's just use 10,000. Let's be conservative. 10,000 extra. That's $10,000 more that they wouldn't have had. That could be bill money. That could be they could maybe buy some new appliances for their new house or whatever. And then when you take out the realtor side, $10,000 more. That's at 3%. That's $300, right? $300. And so they're just probably thinking like me, and they don't even keep all that. Most of them, they have to split it with their broker. So in their head, they're thinking like, who cares? That doesn't benefit, because everybody does take it from the perspective of how does it impact them. Mm-hmm. So in their mind, they're thinking that, well, that extra 10,000, that's only $300 in my pocket. So, why would they take their time to recommend staging? It doesn't benefit them that much. But when they start looking at it cumulatively, 2 to 4 listings a month, that extra $300 turns to $600 or $1,200 over 12 months. That could be as much as, 14.4. 12 times 12 is 144. So 14,400 plus not having to market the house as long, right? So it all starts to add up. And then what they're not thinking is, because I traced this with my husband's business, then what they're going to do is they're going to pick up extra listings. So if their volume was 2 to 4, now they're going to have 4 to 6. And they're not just getting the 3% of some little extra margin the seller gets, they're getting 3% of this entirely new volume listing, the 2 more listings. So let's say it's 430,000. That's over $12,000 per property at 3%. That's another 24 grand that they made that month that they didn't have before. So it's a huge, huge impact. And so we have to get the agents to get them away from thinking small, like it doesn't really matter, because when that's come in their mindset, it does matter a lot to the seller. And how much is that seller going to talk about that agent who got them extra, really pushed and got them extra? I actually just wrote an email to, to Inman. And because we went there in January, and of course they're interested in having us come back in July and are working on special things. And I, my goal is we want to educate people. There's a lot of agents that go there. There was one topic on staging. The times they have had staging, they've talked about Meredith Bear has been at their events, but she has to pay to sponsor. It's, probably a hefty 5, if not 6 figures to have a room that's staged and set up. I don't know if they even gave her any stage time. And so we were talking about this. And so I wrote this email, and I hope I didn't piss them off, but I'm going to be honest with them in a kind way. And I said, and I hadn't really thought about it this much at Inman. They said, all the CRM funnels that are developed that realtors pay for, Boomtown, all these things, there were over a billion leads, supposedly, that came in. Transactions last year, buying and selling, there were only 5 million in the US. So 1 billion leads translated into only 5 million actual transactions. So I took a look at what I believe just our association members, if I multiply the number of members times an average number of transactions, stagers make an impact on at least, I would say about 1 million properties. I'm going to estimate that. That's a fair estimate. I know I do 400 properties a year. There's people that do more, some might do less. So let's look at 1 million properties. That's huge. That's 20% of that total. And then if you think that we're impacting 2 million real estate agents, because you have the buyer's agent and the seller's listing agent that are impacted by that, we're impacting 2 million property owners that are buyers and sellers. It's huge. And so my message to them is, why are we being marginalized? We make a huge impact.
You go, Jenny. You go.
It was like 1 a.m. I'm like on my phone writing.
I love that. And I love that you're like a human calculator. I'm like the math. But no, I love that. And you got to be bold. And you know what? I do believe that staging is really growing. And I do believe that some realtors are going to be left behind, because here's the thing. They're struggling with their commissions. People are wanting to know what they're doing to deserve their commissions. And I know how hard realtors work, and I feel for them. It's not about that. It's not that they don't deserve it, because most people only see the tip of the iceberg. But they're competing now against entry-only listings and all that. So they have to, the ones that want to get that full commission have to, start marketing themselves as a boutique agency who over delivers. And it's not about what you get for the home. It's about what you net. So in other words, because they stage, they're going to get more money and they're going to pay a full commission and have a seasoned licensed agent walk them through the process. There's so many pitfalls that can happen in a real estate transaction. But here's the thing, the real estate agents now have to position themselves better. Just like we do, just like we have to be that tall poppy, the one that we want people to pick in our market by our branding and everything we do and the way we deliver services. Realtors now have to prove that even more, because they're competing with entry-only listings and low commission agents who give less. So what the realtors have to say is, look, I help you net more money. You may pay my full commission, but you're going to get full service and you're going to net more. So how do we as stagers help them do that?
Right. And being able to show the value. And I wrote in the email, I said, why do we still see these terrible pictures online with agents that don't care and bad MLS photos and these different things? And it's sort of like, when somebody says, oh, I don't believe in staging, or we don't need to do that. I just kind of shake my head. I mean, 18 years ago when I got started, I can understand because staging wasn't as well known, but here there's statistics and data, and you can look online, you can see the better, position of properties and the ones that get the offers. And so it's just like, like you just want to go McFly, and like hit your head up on a wall. But I think
that's
it's
why I find the most seasoned agents are willing to do it, because and that's my ideal client, because the seasoned, more competitive agents, because they want that silver bullet that's going to set them apart. Staging is that. They want to create word of mouth marketing. They understand business better in that way, that, real estate is a referral business. That's why it's so hard for people to start in the business, because they have to build up that referral momentum.
right.
The seasoned agents that are willing to invest in coaching, that are willing to invest in their business, they do the lead gen thing, they try different things. Those are the agents that I love to work with, because they get it. They're willing to invest. Those should be the ones that all agents are looking to, right? Because they're the leaders in their field. And
Right.
from my perspective, I have found that those are the ones that are willing to invest in their business. And a lot of agents' fears have nothing to do with the staging thing. It's a mindset thing. They're afraid that the stager might piss their client off. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear there, but they're afraid
That's
that
right.
because you're an extension, right?
They're so cute. Piss their client off.
I can have a potty mouth, but I'll be good. But they're afraid that, they have to really trust. That's why I tell stagers, you got to get in front of the realtor. Because if they don't feel as though you're going to treat their client well and be honest and be businesslike and be articulate and get results, then they're not going to invest in you. So you got to get in front of them so that they can see you, that they know that they'll trust you. And that's a big leap of faith for these realtors, because you are a reflection on them. So we have
Right.
to understand the realtor's perspective and not always blame them for not getting it, but try to educate them, teach them what's in it for them, let them know that they can trust you to handle their clients well, and that you will help them create word of mouth marketing, because their clients are going to be so excited to tell all their friends and family that their agent even hired a professional stager to come in and do a consult, to get great results and to sell the house so much faster and give that client guidance on how to maximize that equity. People love that. It's like, I have my own designer, I have my own stager. They think that's great. They'll preach it to the world, but it's up to us to educate the realtors on the value. And you know what? The ones that don't get it, that's
Move
okay.
on.
Not your ideal client.
Right. And I think it's also up to us to educate the users of our services just as a whole. I mean, the industries that use this, the real estate industry, builders and the investors, why do they need to stage, what the benefit is, and change the conversation. One of the reasons we're collecting statistics, which we've got some great numbers we'll be releasing, is so that we can then share them with NAR, with Inman, with building industry, and say this is the difference staging makes. And also this is the real investment you need to expect to be making in staging. Is not $500. That is great for a consultation and maybe a quick hands-on in an occupied house, but that certainly is not going to work in a vacant, and they're not defining that. So the expectation that we're just going to come in for some little tiny amount is still out there to stage vacant houses. And so that's up to us, though. I blame our industry for not doing a better job educating. And so we're working on changing that. And I appreciate everybody who turns statistics in and so forth to help us with that, because that's going to be super important.
And to your point, we're going to talk to investors differently. Investors, it's all about return on investment. They talk in numbers. You have to, as a stager, be able to get out there right away, because you're the last contractor coming in, and every day costs them money. So the way we convey our value has to speak to that. Builders are different, they want to sell that spec home or that model home. And what you have to convey is, look, if you invest in staging, you're going to sell all those empty lots so much faster, because their big thing is, they have this huge loan out for the development. So they got to sell empty lots fast.
Right.
So we really have to understand how to talk to those clients, solve their problems in a way that they care about and in their language.
That's great. And so, and I have Amber on. Amber, your screen is black, so I don't know if you're there you are. Let's see. I'm gonna bring you in, but I don't see you. It's just a black screen. So we'll see if Amber comes on. So Amber, we can't see you. So I don't know if you're, I think you have to, your video isn't showing. Do you want to say something?
I'll figure it out. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. That's like me last week. I had a screen on half the thing for like 20 minutes. Nobody said they couldn't see me. So I'm like blabbing away. And then nobody was commenting. So I'm like, am I even on? So I pulled up my cell phone and I look and I'm like, you can't even see me. And so there was some setting that I accidentally hit. But this I think is on your end that there's the video. So Amber, what I can do this, I'll put your picture up.
Oh, that'll work, sort of. I need to get you a new picture.
Hi,
So,
Amber.
So this is Amber. So Amber Griffiths. So go ahead and tell us who you are.
Oh, there we are.
There you are. Woo. Okay, good.
My whole office is there. Oh, there we go. That's better. Let's scoot that over.
Now my messy. So hey, look your hair. I got my two gingers today.
There we go. Hello, ladies.
So tell everybody who you are, Amber.
My name is Amber Griffiths, and I am a brand strategist with Your Brand by Design.
So she came to our conference last year. You spoke. You did a breakout session on marketing.
Yes, I loved it.
And so we are talking about marketing and branding and working with ideal clients. And so tell us, from your perspective, marketing and branding, why is it so important? So let's say I'm a new person and I hear, the word branding. And I'm like, I don't know, is that my colors for my company? Is it how I put my materials together? I mean, what does branding mean? Because it covers all areas.
It's all the things. I usually tell people, like, the really short version of this is it's everything you say and everything you do to create a really amazing, memorable experience for your ideal client. So it goes so far beyond your brand, your logos, your fonts, your colors. One of the things I have noticed, especially in the home staging and home decor and home design arena, y'all are incredibly artistic. I mean, that's part of it's coming out of your pores, right? And the problem I see is that you understand, especially when it comes to your brand, you understand and you have this awareness how the importance of colors, the importance of placement, like the little nuances that a plant, a mirror, a light can really make. And you understand that it's not just, I'm going to put a color here, I'm going to put a plant here. It's not just a home, you're affecting someone's home. And it's about connecting that right person with the right place where they're going to spend the rest of their lives. I mean, the highs, the lows, the triumphs, the tragedies, it all happens there. And so when you're in that art realm and you realize that home staging is so much more than a done for you service, when you show up, when you step into it and you own really what you're creating, what you're doing, that's part of your brand. It changes the way you see yourselves. It changes your brand. And you stop being kind of that done for you. I'm going to pop in. I'm going to throw in some, I've heard it so many times. I can do that. I can just go get some Target pillows or IKEA, whatever. That's so not what you guys do. That is so, it's like somebody telling me, oh, I have my logo, I have my brand. Oh, wow. No, this much of that. But really, you stop being that kind of done for you service. And you see that the homes you're creating, the lives you're opening up, the way you're connecting is a part of your own unique way. And that is your own way of becoming what I call legend. That's all part of your brand. It's how you stand out.
Which is true. And you have your talk last year was on developing a rock star brand.
Yes.
And let's kind of circle back to somebody who's newer and then somebody who's more seasoned too. So people get like in a rut. So as far as updating their printed brand, their logos and so forth, their colors, that needs to be updated. And how often should somebody be taking a look at updating, revising, modifying?
Oh, wow. I would tell you two things. One, I wouldn't change just to change. That's changing things for the sake of changing things is just a waste of money and energy and time. What I would say is that if your vision changes, your brand needs to catch up. If your core values shift a little bit and how you interpret your core values shift, your brand needs to evolve with you. So I usually encourage my clients every 6 months to a year, look at your core values. What are you still is so integral part of you that this becomes a non-starter. Like if it breaks that core value, you're done. You'll leave money on the table and walk away. It always comes down to alignment with your core values. So I would say every 6 months to a year, sit down and say, okay, what's my vision? Why am I doing this? What's the point? And it's okay if that's to make $1 million. That's a totally valid vision. That's okay. whatever that vision is, make sure it's still true for you. And then say, okay, does my brand still reflect that? Does my logo still look like that? Do my colors still say all those things about me? And if they don't, kick it up a notch, change it. It's okay.
Which is true. And we had, my colors were kind of a celadon green, because I had a pear. I don't know. I found this logo that was a pear. So that'd be considered my signature item with my former company. And then I liked purple, like a pinky purple colors. I had those together, and I used those together for a long time. And then I think a year ago, I decided I wanted to change the colors because I felt like they weren't really on trend. And so just, revised things. We added the design center. We added vacation property staging for the property rental properties and so forth. Added some different facets, and it's colors I like, but we tend to use them a lot for staging. So we went with more blues and greens. So I still have green is my favorite color, but I agree, to mix it up. We don't want to look stale online. And then branding with the clients, how does somebody who's new, because again, I'm trying to kind of circle back, somebody who's new, they hear this word. So I think they probably initially think that it's all about your collateral materials. What does that look like? My presence online. But that word brand, as Marianne said, it goes, and you guys said it encompasses everything you do for your business. And so if that's the case, I feel like that my brand is the stager that has hair that's out of control and is sweating. And because I've shown up to appointments where they want to meet with him. I'm like, listen, I'm going to warn you. I have been working today, and I said, and I'm a hot mess, and I have no makeup on, but I'm going to meet with you. And they'll usually will laugh, but I don't come all pulled together, some of the time because they, it's whatever I've been doing that day. So I hope that's not my brand.
Here's the bottom line. It's kind of like if you were to say, I'm really professional and I'm premier, and you show up and you don't stage like that. It doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth. What they experience from you is what's true for them. So if you show up and say, I am imperfectly perfect, let's do this, that's so much louder. That's such a more true. And that's what they're going to remember. They're going to show the experience of, she wasn't all dolled up and in heels and had her hair just so and whatever else. I mean, we got diva going on here on the top, and it's yoga pants on the bottom, and it's okay.
No shoes.
No, my warm socks. There's no shoes, but it's warm socks. It's cold here in Utah. But they're going to, it's not what you show up like. I mean, yes, if it's an appointment, by all means, put on, shower, whatever. But it's really the experience they have with you. Did you listen to them? Did you ask them questions? And then did that reflect in the way you staged their home? Did you, I remember when I bought my first home, I said, here's the list of things I want. And I went out with a realtor, and maybe one or two things was on that list. I'm like, did you bother to look at the list that I said? It just wasn't that at all. So if you ask the question, listen, respond accordingly, act like it matters to them. Act like it's not your first rodeo, so you got them. But also this might be their first rodeo. This might be their 10th. They might be investors, and this is what they do. But the end client, the end result still is very custom, very tailored. So I don't want to say absolutely hot mess is what we do, but it's the results and it's the experience they have with you. Were you on time even though you were a hot mess? Did you listen to them? Did you ask important questions? And did that reflect in your stage and your design? That's what they're going to remember. That's your brand.
Right. And it's actually true, because there's been times where everybody has situations where things don't go as planned. Drop the ball, maybe there's a disconnect of some sort, and you do end up, when that happens, you can lose a client. If things don't go as planned, they might give you a second chance or whatever it is, but you have to kind of pull it together. Things like timeliness, follow through, the expectations. So it's up, like when I do a consultation, for example, my goal is to turn that, if it's a report added to that, turn it around within 24 hours. That's our commitment to the client. So when I've been working with our team and it doesn't happen, and then it doesn't happen, and then the client's like, where's my report? I'm like, this makes us look really bad because we made this commitment. So if the team member's not able to churn it out in that time frame, then maybe we say 48 hours. We give a little bit of extra time. The thing is to follow through, and not let our lack of follow through or knowing what to do harm our reputation and our brand, because it's very hard to get back.
Oh yeah, it takes years to build, and it's going to take 24 seconds to destroy if you're not careful. But you brought up two really important things, Jenny. One of those things is ask your client what's important to them, because your 24 hours might be super critical and that's your thing. But if they're like, really, I don't need this for another week and money's more important to me, or the design is more important to me, the little details are more important, don't go through, don't kill yourself for that 24 hours, even though that's your brand and that's important. Ask them what's the most important to you. Is it a dollar value? Is it a color scheme? What is that? So that if it's a 24-hour thing, if it's 25 hours, it's okay.
Right.
The other thing I would tell you is that when you talk about your brand, you're not the only messenger of that. Any team members that you hire, any employees, obviously are part of your brand as well. Any other vendors you hire are completely part of your brand. So you could interview them as carefully as you would your own employees and say, what's important to you? What are your core values? Make sure those are in alignment. If you're hiring people and working with vendors that time is not a thing, that's going to be a thing and a problem every single time you talk to a new client. So make sure you're really super picky. If this is your brand, this is your business, it's all you've got. Especially when it's a service-based business, your name is everything. It's everything you have. So be super picky and really run them through the line and say, I need to make sure you're going to hit these things and that they're important to you, not just that you're going to do them because I said so, but they're really important to them as well. That's an extension of your brand and they get to carry it fully.
Right. And I think communication is critical. I think most clients are understanding if there's delays or things that don't go as planned, but when nobody says anything.
Yeah.
So as an example, I have the crew that helps us moving. Well, we get the truck and so forth. And so they were on their way to a delivery, but anyhow, they backed the truck into the warehouse big door that goes up, and they didn't say anything. So they drove off. They spent the whole day, loading, unloading, went back there, didn't say a word, but there was a camera at the warehouse. And they have the footage. They show the guys hitting the door. It hits it so hard, the snow on the roof falls off. And they put a dent in the door, and then they actually push some of the mortar. The stone work actually has to be repaired. So it wasn't. So the property manager for the warehouse, he wasn't mad, but he said, the fact that they didn't say anything, you need to ask them about that. And just accidents happen. I get that, but what I hate is if something happens at a staging or situation like this and nobody says anything, like if a floor gets scratched or we, and nobody owns up to it and says, hey, this happened. Because then I can make a proactive phone call and say, hey, I'm aware this happened. I will take care of it. We're going to get it handled. That's why I have insurance. And so, but when they don't say anything, and then the client is one that calls me, it's like I have egg on my face. And so communication to me is probably the biggest factor with our team. Just keep me posted. Let me know if things, I'm not going to scream and yell, I'm going to be like, okay, be solution mode. How can we handle this?
Right.
So that it's not the client telling you, hey, by the way, your team.
Yeah.
Did this,
well, and then you got that deer in the headlights, like, they did what? Oh no, nobody told me anything.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, exactly.
Professionalism starts dying down. No, absolutely. Communication is huge. It's like any other relationship though. Tell me, it's whether it's a spouse or a child or any other relationship you have, a colleague, just talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And again, talk to your clients. Do you want me to let you know at 10 o'clock at night that this is something that hit the fan? Do you want me to just make sure that you have an email at 8 o'clock in the morning? Find out how they best communicate.
Right. And that's actually too, the communication piece of it too. That's a whole other topic we could even talk about in another session, but how do you communicate with your client? How do you figure out how they like to be communicated to? Because you have people who phone call, email, texting, Facebook messaging now. There's all these different ways people are communicating. How do you figure out which one works? And it's not initially what you like to do, it's what your client likes. So for me, I would prefer to know the night before. Let me know as soon as it happens so I can kind of process it, come up with a plan. So then I can let the client know, like in the morning, this is what I know this happened. This is what we're going to do about it. So that would be me. But some people might not want to ruin their night. They might not get any sleep.
Yeah. But that slap in the face, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I have not had nearly enough coffee to handle this yet. I really don't want to deal with this right now. But absolutely, communication is huge, for sure.
I can't believe we're out of time. So, Teresa, we wish you well. I wish she was on the call with us, and her brother passed away. So unexpectedly, I know it's really terrible.
Oh.
So we send all of our love to Teresa Valerie Thomas in Delaware. Those of you that know her, send her some hugs. She had let me know this morning her brother passed away. So we'll get her on the show another time. I'm looking forward to the workshops and having you joining us, both of you, as long as with other people. And Amber, for some reason, I thought you lived in Boston.
No,
but you're in the city. So
I really want to come see Boston.
What's that?
I want to come see Boston. So I'm like, I will totally come speak. I can't wait.
I don't know. I just said like the really cool, yeah, the cool redhead from Boston. I just thought that's where she was from. So we would like to do something in Salt Lake City too, because
Yes, please.
Sandra Reyes, who is she works with Joanne Leonard Weary, and then both of them are now ASP course trainers as well. But she was from Salt Lake, so she has a strong base there, and she's now out of Phoenix. But that whole region, we wanted to start doing some more education in that area, and so definitely can use you for that too.
Please.
So.
And I know you have people here in, I'm trying to remember her name now. She's in Park City. I met her when there at Nashville. She was one of your exhibitors. But so I know, so I know you've got people. We just need to expand. There's so much real estate in Utah. Oh, we just need y'all so badly. Come play.
I taught there years ago. I taught a class there. It was a good class. So we do have to come back there. So Marianne, any final words?
No, just I'm really, Amber, you're coming to Boston, right?
I am.
I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, you got to say park the car.
Well, I'm bringing Utonics with me, so y'all just need to handle that. I've got Texas Uton. I'll figure out the Boston.
Well, Blair and
funny.
I will double team you.
Very good. Very good.
The commercial for the Super Bowl, it had John Krasinski, and they're parking. Park the car. I parked the car, and it's the car that parks itself. Park that thing. I parked it. Parked it there. Parked it. I was like cracking up because it was so funny.
That's how we talk. That's how we roll.
So it's not even exaggeration. That's like on point, huh?
Right. And I taught a class where we were doing the hands-on project, and one of the realtors said, so because you can in our hands-on at that time, we only use what's in the house, and so she says, so we can take anything we want out of the drawer, and I said, the drawer? I go, what's a drawer? And she says, the drawer. I go, what's a drawer? She goes, the drawer. I go, the drawer? Yeah, you can go to the drawers. Yeah, the kitchen drawers, but the drawer. It was just so funny. So we're gonna have a good time.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
This will be great.
Well, thanks for being on. Thanks everybody for watching. And of course, this will be loaded up on our homestagingtalk.com website and on our YouTube channel. All of the segments are there for you guys to watch and rewatch and learn. And I just appreciate both of you being on, and I look forward to seeing you in April.
Yes, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Great to see you both.
Yep. Okay, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.